And we're live.
Hey, everybody. It must be Thursday because here we are. It feels like a weird day to me. How about you guys? Does it seem like an odd day?
said tomorrow so many times thinking it was Sunday, but it's actually Thursday.
Yeah, I felt thrown off all month, really. I didn't realize like next week's PAX East. Oh my God. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We are here tonight playing Land Between Two Rivers. And let's see how everybody's doing on this weird, like unreal Thursday. Grant, I'm loving this look, by the way.
Thanks. We're auditioning it for the panels at PAX East. It's one of those things where if you are underprepared, you try to look cute AF. So my name's Grant Ellis. I'm happy to be here this week. I really enjoyed last week's session because there was a lot of like D&D history that was getting dumped into Axe Streamer's past. And like Josh and I were like, he's our new favorite action figure. This is awesome. Yeah, but I'm happy to be here tonight playing Gilded Goblin, who is now committed to take Axe Streamer to the next level. I kind of view myself as Philippides from Disney's Hercules, Danny DeVito style, and I'm going to help Axe Streamer be a hero.
Have him embrace his true heroic destiny.
That's Gildan's boy. That's what they'll say. That's Gildan's
Striking
boy.
out on his own. Yes. Excellent. And Lindy, how are you doing?
I'm good. I am kind of low-key eating the rest of my dinner, as it is baguette and garlic butter, which is delicious. But yeah, good day. Ready to play. Excited. Can't believe it doesn't feel like a Thursday. I'm still thrown off by that, but I'm excited.
It does feel weird. It does not feel like a Thursday. It feels like it's a Tuesday.
I don't know, it feels like a weekend or like the beginning of the week, like Monday, like somewhere between Saturday and Monday.
I definitely feel that. I think it's probably because for me, there's been like a sickness that's hung over my house for like the last 3 weeks, and everybody's just now coming out of it. But last week, TK, you were not here with us. You were in a world of fantasy and wonder. How are you doing this week?
Actually, fantasy is strictly not allowed in SCA,
even
though so many of our oaths of fealty are directly lifted from Lord of the Rings. But you didn't hear that from me. I'm not like annoyed by it. Honestly, I don't care. There's a lot of them that are like, man, SCA is not a LARP, and I'm like, cool. Our inter-kingdom party at the end of Gulf Wars was Hogwarts themed.
Right.
No, yeah, that was my face too. I was like, okay, whatever gets me a butterbeer Jello shot, it's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
I had a delightful time. Doesn't feel like Thursday, but only because I'm still in vacation mode. Love the incredibly familiar backdrop that you're sporting there, Jim.
Yeah, I like it. It's I just picked what the mood was. It's not meant to be ominous.
No, it's cool because I think Emma uses the same one Fridays. So
yeah, we'll let her up. I usually just keep up whatever she has anyway.
Yeah. Let her know that I approve of it.
Thank you. Excellent. well, welcome back. We are certainly glad you're here. Icky's fine. And he's ready to jump back in. And how are you doing?
Well, I have allergies, so I'm sorry if I mute myself or sneeze and I can't get to the mute button on time. My bad, fam. But also, foreshadowing, Jim, the background?
I mean, not necessarily.
I am suspicious.
I mean, you guys did end after having, like, walked through a tunnel of negative magic space into a subterranean something or other in a city of the undead. Like, I'm not projecting. I'm just, trying to build an atmosphere.
Sure. Whatever you say. I saw somebody, also, by the way, go support WebDM on Patreon, that they heard the podcast and they were like excited about it and they're like, I'm not going to spoil it, which thank you. But I don't know. I don't know who to believe. So
All right. Well, I spoil my own campaign quite frequently all over the place. So
I don't notice it. So
The only reason I watch your show.
it's the only reason.
I watch it for the knife hands.
Okay. My respects. Yeah. But yes, we frequently talk about it on our Patreon podcast. Sometimes I give little insights into how I plan things, and this one was especially fun because of just the person that that Axe Dreamer has become. So. My brother is en route somewhere. Josh is en route, and will be joining us as soon as he can, I hope. So we'll see. But before we get started, I'd like to thank Tabletop Loot for helping to sponsor the show and just like being like, just, I don't know, really great and awesome. So go and check them out. They are constantly like, I don't know, for me personally, I'm like always like, oh my God, I can't believe that they're doing this thing or help us, or like making this or got these options or so. Go check them out and get yourself some dice on us, WebDM15. There you go. You'll have to forgive me tonight, players and listeners, as I have a bit of a cough and will be probably taking it a little slower than I normally do just to save my voice and not have to like mute every 15 seconds. So when we last left the party, they had just got done exploring the bathhouse of Bekroithoik Telmanu, the Axe Dreamer, and sort of going through the various displays of the moments of life in which the legend of his grew to the point that he becomes sort of this champion of the city and of the goddess that he is devoted to. And it was through this sort of, exploring the ruins of this bathhouse that you realize that the mummy aristocracy, or at least some of them, were attempting to like really with a strong hand be like, you have to save us. You're literally our long lost hero returned. And we have your axe. So in a moment at the end, Ellie asked, where it was, why it was taking so long to get the axe, or whether they were just stalling. And the three mummies opened a portal of negative magic, which took them through some other world that they walked through, and then exited into a subterranean tunnel, which I guess is redundant, that had sort of like old mildew stains and it was like cracks running along the left-hand wall, very narrow and confined. They also left two of their party back at the bathhouse, basically, which would have been Icky and Memnon. Memnon was sort of psychically projecting himself so as to be as quiet as possible inside the bathhouse. It is actually like perched in a corner of a ruined building that he's in sort of like a meditative pose on, which where it actually is. So I think maybe picking up there and seeing like Icky got separated from the group just because they were speeding through the ruins in the air speeder, and Icky was, I think, mounted on one of the summon creatures that she'd used to fight the shadows earlier.
Yeah, I'm mounted on my summoned sort of lizard-like rhinoceros creature. I assume it's lizard-like. I've been retconning it. Now it's lizard-like. Word of God. There you go.
There you go. Respect the retcon. So yeah, it just, you would have, I mean, like, you're moments behind, right? But a twist and turn here. The city has been like, none of the streets are really in use, and new paths have been cut through the rubble. By the time you get there, all you see is like the skiff, like where Myrrh hid it, and no real sign of them. And it's in front of this like gigantic it's like sort of like a blocky building with sort of sculptures or images engraved along the side. It's clearly of some sort of durable stone, as it is in much better condition than any of the other buildings within the neighborhood. They're all just like crumbled and cracked to dust, and this was like mostly still standing. And there's a great big swath of empty space around it, about 100 yards or so, that has all the hallmarks of like a dried up grassy lawn. It's just dust.
Okay, so all my companions are gone and the skiff is just there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no signs of struggle or anything?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to assume this is Mur's fault then. Just because, like, I assume I would hear something if magic happened, so Mur has somehow whisked the group away mysteriously, which is what Mur does. Can I see, like, footprints or anything? I only have a lantern. I don't have dark vision. So.
Gotcha. You can give me a check for that, if you like.
I forgot I wasn't using Roll20. I have to roll real dice for this.
Oh, yeah.
So I can lie. I might have to lie. 9 plus 6. So 15.
There you go.
Y'all didn't see me count on my fingers. Stay in school, kids.
There are a lot of tracks nearby. Most of them you recognize as your companions. But you also see older tracks that look like, we would assume wastelanders.
Okay.
You know, scrawny by the size of the footprint.
What about like, so do these undead, do they shuffle around or do they take like regular steps like this village of ghouls? I guess they're not undead, but this village of ghouls.
So the ones that you've seen take halting, shuffling steps.
Okay.
As if they're trying to use whatever
like muscles.
Yeah, whatever muscles they have left. And some of them have like artificial like augmentations for it. The aristocracy seem to just float. They are like wrapped up, bound with headdresses and everything, and seem to just sort of like float about 2 inches off the ground everywhere they go.
Please design a video game. That would be dope. I would like to follow the footsteps that look the most like my friends.
Okay. So
I will leave the rhinoceros by the skiff.
Okay. It's as you're sort of like approaching this this structure, and there's like the closer you get to it, the more there's like rubble around it, places to hide and the like. It looks as though there's no door on this thing, and you can sort of see through it into maybe a courtyard or something past like the series of rooms. There's no sign of movement or anything as you approach, unless you want to like spend some time really getting a good look at the place. I make a perception check.
I am gonna make that perception check, but first I wanna check something real quick.
Okay.
I very rarely get to use like ranger stuff, so I'm just like, meh. Primeval awareness is not gonna help me right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Pass Without a Trace on myself, just super quick.
Okay.
Just like super quick.
Yeah.
And use perception as stealthily as I can.
All right. You can go ahead and make me those two rolls then. The first one for a hiding place, and then the second one for perception.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Because I don't know what's around here. We just got attacked by like some shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is spooky.
Everything is very spooky.
Okay, so stealth first, +6. It's a good thing I've cast Pass Without Trace. That's an 18 with that +10. I'm so mad at that tiny hand.
An 18.
Perception is a +6. Oh, thank goodness. So that's a 19.
That's very good.
I'm so mad.
So you find your hiding spot on one of these pieces of rubble. There's 3 more, and just give it a good long look and sniff. You can a couple of things. You can smell Memnon coming up behind you.
Yeah.
Like you can just smell it on the wind.
Oh.
You can. There's like some movement maybe in the courtyard of this. You see maybe like just a fleeting shadow of something move, but no like actual, like you can see there's no body that you saw.
Ooh, don't like that. Okay, I guess I'm gonna turn around and look at this bipedal can of spam. Where is Mer?
And they traveled through some sort of portal.
Not you.
I attempted to follow, but my spirit form was unable to enter. I'm not sure where they went, but it can't be far because I can still sense denizen.
Okay. Can you smell him? Can you track him?
Yes, I can.
We should do that.
And he sort of like, if you may I, and he sort of like points behind you on like, I don't know where your mount is back at the skip. Okay. I might need to be carried. I tend to, disassociate and leave my body if I'm to find where they are. I need to carry me.
Icky considers this and then goes ahead and wild shapes.
Okay.
I'd like to wild shape into... What do I got? I'm going to wild shape into a mutated Hadrosaurus.
Okay.
I love them. Oh, I just want to be a dinosaur, okay?
Just do it.
Yes, I absolutely do it. Also, it has 6 legs because I love that.
Oh, yeah.
And she just waits there patiently.
Okay. He climbs up and sort of gets comfortable and then takes a rope and like loosely ties himself to you so he doesn't fall off.
Icky's uncomfortable.
He's like, is there maybe across your shoulder or something? He just doesn't want to fall off. Yeah,
Icky begrudgingly assists him by shifting.
Okay. And he will he sort of like slumps over so he's near your ear and sort of like mumbles directions to you because he knows you don't like the telepathy.
Yeah, please.
And so he's like sort of whispering directions to you as you guys like turn here, cross this path of rubble.
Cool.
That kind of thing. It'll take some time as you were sort of in the heart of the city.
Can Memnon see in the dark?
Yeah, you can see in the dark.
Okay, good.
Dinosaurs don't have dark vision?
No, I don't think so. It does not have it on my sheet. Though I do have a drift globe in my bag. He probably wouldn't know that, but I do.
Was it out? It was out earlier. You were using it to see, yeah?
Was I? Yeah, sure. Yeah,
just...
I have a drift globe. Tie it to a stick. Tie it to a string like a little balloon.
You just become luminous whenever you're wild shaped.
Hiya, Georgie.
So you take off across the city.
Yeah.
And you know that you're headed in a like a different direction than you've been before. Not like headed back to where you were staying earlier at the palace or anything.
Man, Mer's gonna be mad we left the skip. Oh well.
So those of you down in the tunnel, it is cramped. As I said, you could probably walk side by side if you wanted, but it would be like an awkward kind of like excuse me sort of walk. It's like this old, just crusty, cracked, dried brick. And down the left-hand side, there are large, deep fissures that look unsettling. Parts of the left wall and ceiling seem as though they're only supported by sort of the pressure of each other, and it does not look very stable. The aristocrats hover before you. I'm assuming everybody follows, or is there something that y'all would want to do?
Is it spook?
It is dark, and unless
How dark?
it's like underground dark. There's no starlight. There's no nothing like that.
So I can't see anything.
Mm-hmm. Unless maybe you have a light source. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so I'm just kind of Ellie is just kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot that this is a thing that always happens every single time, and I can't see. And I kind of like put my arm out to see if I could feel anybody. And then is Axe Dreamer in front of me? Maybe. That's kind of in frontish.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my hand on your shoulder. Don't panic. Don't be scared. It's just me, okay?
All right. I'm all right.
Because I can't see.
Am I still around?
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's how
I'm wreathed in fire.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm definitely following.
So there's like a moment while Gildan's still like passing through the whatever this place is.
I think I've eclipsed myself behind something, and it's like it's really
because you don't arrive in the order you left in necessarily, and it was, like I said, it was a kind of an otherworldly place. But now that Gildan's here and he's all aflame, you can see all that stuff I described.
I'm also like hovering like just slightly above where Axe Dreamer's shoulder would be, because I'm his Jiminy Cricket now.
That's right, you're his Jiminy Cricket.
And always let your conscience be your guide.
Oh,
Yes. Swats me out of the air.
Yes.
Tiny hands.
You can see as you're coming up ahead along the right hand wall, there's sort of like a shadowy recess that it appears as though that's where the aristocrats are taking you towards. So it's all of you, and then behind are the two guards that they had with them as they shuffle along noisily. Their rusted ornamental armor clanking against the cramped walls. So you guys are led through a series of crumbling tunnels and rooms. They're opening these sort of iron-bound doors. Some of them appear to be still functional, but many of them, 2 or 3 of them that you pass through, are just like not even, there are no attempt to close them or anything. They're just like barely hanging off their hinges. But after leading you through several of those, you get into a long tunnel that's in much better shape and repair, and it kind of widens out a little bit, and it becomes sort of less cramped. Now, you've passed numerous other intersections and the like getting here, and you can tell that you're in some sort of underground space, but not really where or what. Nizen has assured you you're on the same plane. That's difficult to tell. Do y'all follow in silence, or what?
Yeah, I don't think Mer would say anything at this point.
Okay.
I think Ellie will still keep her hand on Axe Dreamer's shoulder.
Yeah.
Kind of like make sure she doesn't get lost. And spooky friends, are you sure we're going the right way?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I don't want any bamboozle from you guys.
They're serving bamboozle around here?
There is no deception. You must be patient.
Fine. I'm getting kind of hungry and I'm running out of crickets.
Yeah, really. I'll just
Golden
hand Ellie a
sweats.
snack. I always have drow rations on me.
Ziploc bag.
Garlic baguettes. These are amazing.
I know they're so good. Anyway.
This was one of the ones that was all cut up from Gildan's spell that answered Ellie. And one of them like almost ate it, like destroyed. And so they're going to this long room. It sort of changes degrees a little bit. You can tell you're not exactly going straight. And it takes like a 90-degree turn as you enter this smallish room in which there's like the signs of some kind of old battle or something, like ancient weapons all corroded and dilapidated on the floor, and old skeletons that are just dry and dusty, lying wherever it is that they fell. Continuing further, you pass by several other galleries until the mummies stop at a large ledge. It's kind of like the tunnel that you're in, just the right-hand side of the wall just completely opens up. You're looking down into a large room that's partially collapsed. The ceiling of it to the left hand, or Chiel's left hand, has collapsed inward, and sort of like rubble is spilled partially into the room. It's about 20 feet below you. You're on kind of like a balcony, and you can see down there that there's some kind of liquid at the bottom of it, but it is not, it does not smell pleasant. It smells like it's already irritating your nose. And you've been smelling it for a while, but now that you're here, it just sort of like hits you as the space opens up. And they've built some sort of like makeshift walkway across pillars in the rubble that links two balconies. There's another one about 40 feet across from you that the mummies sort of gesture as the first one of them crosses. We must cross. Be careful not to slip into the pool.
Why? What is it? Why does it smell so bad?
It is the runoff from the alchemical process that creates our condition.
Okay. Should I go first?
Gildan looks at Axe Dreamer and motions for him to climb into his strong arms, and I'm gonna float him across. We gotta make sure that look. We gotta take care of our baby. I'm still floating.
You're not
with
wrong.
So like, okay.
That's why I'm not saying anything.
Who actually does take the first step out?
I want to float across though, and I want to carry Axe Dreamer.
Flying time remaining.
Yeah.
4 hours on those bad boys.
I can go second.
Okay.
I'll go next.
So Ellie's probably the first person to actually put a physical foot on these boards. They are not very. They don't look very stable. Like maybe they once were, right? Like it could have at one point. Seems like this might have been a good little bridge, but it's not been kept up, and these guys float. So you think you could cross it, but it doesn't really look as safe as they seem to think it is.
Okay. All right. If nobody holds my hand, I guess I'll just do this. And then she'll kind of like close her eyes, but then
Ellie, I will hold your hand. Come on, let's go.
Okay. Is it safe for both of us to go?
Just spread out, like hold out, like not like linking arms and skipping. Just hold
like
out
this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That way, if she falls or I fall, we can kind of try to help each other back up.
Yeah, they have to cross on the thing as well. They sort of like float above it. They don't just go straight across. But
I definitely also prestidigitate a little silk scarf around my neck to smell really nice, and I just pull it up over.
Yeah. So if you're able to, if you sort of like cover your face, you can get advantage on the Constitution saves here because you're going to need to make a Constitution saving throw as you pass. Just to the fumes are just
Hold up.
the choking and the like. You got some magic?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
Thought I might, but I don't currently.
I've never known. You know. And then an acrobatics or dexterity check, just to kind of like maintain your balance and not. These boards are creaky.
So con save and acrobatics.
Not exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
2 of those.
I got a 9 con.
Okay.
And a 17 acro.
All right. The
Okay. So my con save was I don't have a great plus con. I have a 14 con save, but a 18 acrobatics.
okay. It was 14 con and then 18 acrobatics. So both of those con saves were failed.
Okay.
DC 15 is con. 15
Yep.
for con save.
I was like, I thought I had more in con. No, it's not.
And so like you both cross fine. You know, there's a couple of boards that are like creaky and maybe like bend a little too much or a little too wobbly, but you were able to get across. But like in doing so, you took in like big lungfuls of this air, and it's just you just feel nauseated and gross and poisoned. So you are poisoned for not like for another. Where's my note? For the next hour at least.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
I feel like
Terrible smell. I
when I saw my sister, kind of not as bad.
I'm sure it'll pass. Just give it about an hour. If still queasy, we'll revisit them.
So specific.
It might be the food. The rations have been there a while, so let it settle in your stomach. Don't tell Icky.
I told you those drought rations were too rich for her.
I'm hungry.
She's delicate.
I'm a delicate flower.
Mhm,
She is, but she was also a hungry, delicate flower. I'm sure she'll be fine.
Gildan's flying across. Are you like you offer to take act like you're
Yes. This is like, you know, Aladdin looking down at Jasmine. Do you trust me? Like, reach my hand down up to him.
He takes one look at those rickety ass boards and like he looks around. He makes sure that like Myrrh and Ellie are like already like across and like, oh, I don't feel what like nobody's looking. He's like, all right, let's go. Come on.
A whole new world. And I just sort of float him across.
Close your eyes.
He's my baby now. I gotta take care of this boy. He's
He
gonna
should
win
have crossed
state.
with us. We would have had better con saves.
Could just floated above you.
Hold your breath, it gets better. Sorry.
So he crosses with Gildan, and Ellie and Myrrh are sick for a little bit until it clears their system. But it's even before that happens. The mummies lead you down the right-hand passage off this further balcony, and you very quickly are getting into these tunnels that seem much better kept. They're cleaner. There seem to be more architecturally sound. And you can even detect sort of the presence of some sort of flickering witch light ahead of you in these tunnels. Is there anything you guys do before you get to that light?
Stealth.
Okay.
Just in case, because I can. 24.
Oof, nice.
Okay.
Ellie wasn't gonna stealth, but when she saw Myrrh, she's like, "Oh, I guess I could do that, but I don't think I'm gonna do so well because I don't feel good." But
Oh yeah, we're at disadvantage. Hold up.
Disadvantage for those, yeah.
Oh well, it would have been a 28, so I'll stick with the 24.
it's a 9.
A 9.
It's a me.
Yeah, so Myrrh is sort of like sticking it, like you sort of like found a pool of shadows to stick with, and sort of like are not quite like hidden, but just sort of like in the shadows as you're walking along. Ellie is not quite so stealthy. Like stumble along this tunnel. But before we get there, we'll get back to Icky and see how the journey across this nocturnal, ruined urban landscape is going. You're a giant lizard, and Memnon is like whispering his directions to you. You know, stop here, and he excuse me. He stops in front of a large, looks like a dense network of workshops or apartments or something. It looks like there's sort of like these tall buildings, sort of tall squat buildings that have open spaces on the bottom that have all sorts of just movement coming from them. Looks like benches and other bits of like artisanry tools, that kind of thing. And you can hear the sounds of working and industry going on in this like complex, but it's not regular, and it doesn't sound like productive. It sounds more like a clatter or like a noise. But Memnon is like, there's an entrance here we can use to get to them.
Icky will, I guess, indicate with her head that she understands, since I don't think wild shapes can speak common. But she doesn't look super happy about it. But I guess this is what we're doing.
We are
also, we're very stealthy.
Go ahead and give me a new stealth roll then.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Does Memnon have to roll stealth?
No, he's not moving.
Perfect. Ugh, thank you. Pass without trace.
There you go.
Cool. So 9 plus 6, so 25.
Okay.
Do you have pass without trace on?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You slip through the using cover and the shadows of this place to stealth in here. Now, it does look like it's a series of buildings that are all closely interlinked. And as you get closer, you can tell that there's some sort of people or something in here moving. Just the little wafts that you get, that you pick up, is it smells as though it's like long dead, desiccated flesh and rusted metal. Are the two prominent smells that you get.
Oh, don't love it.
You can keep going.
Ugh. If Memnon says we have to, then I guess we have to.
You're looking for stairs down, and there's a courtyard of something, some tools or something, and a staircase there will get us to the crypts and sewers below. And he's sort of like guiding you as like entering through this hallway.
Do I have to speak an activation word to dim the drift globe?
I think so. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Just gonna
throw a towel over it.
I mean, it's like floating, right? Like
yeah.
He's
and be like, Memnon, let's use our big boy smarts and put this drift globe away.
He sort of like comes out of his trance. You see him like snap himself out. He unties himself from you and takes the drift globe. He's like, all right, we're actually gonna have to stealth through.
Yeah.
Let's
do that.
He gets ready for that. He's not very good at it, but he'll take the pass without trace.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
All right.
I'm not going to get hoisted by my own petard here. If we get caught, it's your fault, Memnon. Yeah, I'll follow Memnon's instructions.
Okay.
Dang, I should have chose the giant lizard. I think that one can walk on walls. That's okay.
That's right. And he leads the way. I mean, he's stealthily enough with thanks to your spell. But as you get closer, there's a lot of noise going on in here, and sort of like echoes around the columned halls of this workshop complex. So it's in some ways, it's actually easier to kind of move around. But it appears as though there are dozens and dozens of sort of mecha servitors that appear to be skeletons with sort of like dried, desiccated skin. Their sort of tendons, brittle and shriveled, and they've been augmented with various crude metal parts like gears and like pistons and things. It's very, very, I don't know what you'd call it. It seemed
40K kind of.
Yeah, and inelegant.
Like murder servitors?
Something like that. Yeah, like they were, it looks hasty, ad hoc. No two of them look alike. And it all seems as though they're sort of in this, trapped in this rusty inertia of making and creating something.
Well, that's real creepy. What if we just ignored this, though? Because it kind of feels like someone else's problem. He's like, this seems bad.
Yeah. So you're sort of like in I guess maybe like the first little entrance part of here, taking all this in.
Yeah.
First off, none of them have seemed to have spotted the two of you.
Perfect. Just
they
the
seem
way
to
I like
be
it.
going about their business, not even not really paying attention to
my preferred outcome.
And they're mostly confined to these workspaces, and there's sort of like these long hallways between them, lots of ways to get in and out of these workrooms, but every say 3 or 4 workrooms, there's instead a courtyard which has like stuff piled in it. It looks as though they're just metal and wood pieces. Much of it is like corroded and rusted well beyond use.
Like a makeshift foundry. Okay. No, thank you. What if I would like to know? Thank you.
No, thank you.
What does Memnon think of this? What's he saying?
He seems to think, he's like, they haven't spotted us. If we head down this hall and then left, we should find the staircase we're looking for.
We should do that. Well, let's do that immediately. As far as Icky is concerned, she was under the impression that Memnon was trying to GTFO this place anyway. So, like, whatever is happening with this business, that's cool. Like, they stay over there, and we're gonna get out of here like as quickly and efficiently as possible. Because for some reason, Icky's friends likes to fuck with this stuff. And Icky doesn't like to fuck with this stuff. What if we just left, though? So Icky's going just go down the hallway.
All right.
It's like, no, thank you.
If y'all aren't doing anything different, then we'll just let it ride, and you guys can make it to the stairs as you pass through these workshops and into one of the first courtyards.
It's like whatever's happening over there is none of my business.
Just don't get involved. Just like, why?
Not my business.
Yeah, just why? The stairway goes down maybe 15 feet or so before opening into a small workspace, and then there's like a second cellar down a ramp from there. And Memnon stops in front of a wall that's like got like these old brittle racks of with like amphora and things like that on them. And he's like, I'm not sure how, but there's a tunnel beyond this wall that will get us to the where we need to go. And he kind of like, he's got no weapons. No.
Yeah, like, and Icky does like, look, I'm not gonna metagame or anything here, but like, I'm a level 11 character that does like 10 to 13 damage max. I have AC 15. I'm not fucking with anything down here. Yeah, so Icky's gonna just like, oh, there's a tunnel down here, and Icky's going to like move their fucking mutant dinosaur body towards that tunnel. That sounds great. Can I try to see if there's any bad guys though?
I mean, like, nobody's coming down here.
Cool.
Like none of the people from up top in the workshops are coming down here. You can hear it's loud, right? Like there's a ton of noise coming from up above you. It seems like, you know, you wait a while, doesn't seem to be anybody that's going to disturb you.
Cool. Yeah, we'll go down that tunnel then.
Okay. Are you going to break it down?
Oh God, you're right. Yes.
All right.
Yes, I am.
All right. That will take some time, but
I'm cool with
it's
it.
no louder than the stuff that they're doing above you.
Yeah, that's fine. In this form, I have a +6 to strength, so I feel better about it.
Okay. Yeah. You know, Memnon moves the stuff out of the way, a spare section of the wall, and after hitting it a couple of times or slamming into it, you can tell that it's not solid and that it will eventually give.
Use my big O tail.
Right, yeah. And he helps as much as he can by clearing things away. It's just mostly a matter of time. Now, those of you back in the sewers, real quick, Nenizen, Memnon has attempted to make contact with you. And I do believe last time we played, you had also attempted to see, like, were you still on the same plane as Memnon? Yeah, I mean, the two of you could easily be talking to one another.
Okay, good.
I just want curious. You guys went through several collapsed tunnels, crossed a pool of alchemical sludge, and are now in these halls that appear to be lit by some sort of witch fire, and actually maintained and structurally sound.
And this was after we went through that weird teleportation spell from
correct the otherworldly space that they
well, you know, now that we're like not in immediate danger, yeah, I would reach out to Memnon again.
Okay.
And you know, what's the haps, that kind of thing.
We are pursuing you. I've found Icky, and we are currently attempting to enter into some sort of passageway, a sewer of some kind. We hope to be with you soon.
Good.
Is everything all right?
Yes. No. Yes. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you ask?
It's mostly been quiet as y'all have passed through these hallways. Nobody's really said much. You're just sort of like following them as they, you know, pass down corridors and through galleys and like. You are about 20 feet or so before you can tell the tunnel turns sharply to the left and opens up into some kind of maybe room. That's where the light is coming from. It is a pale and cold blue light, though, not the warm light of a fire or anything like that. But it is constant in that it, you know, there's no nothing, you know, oscillating or anything like that. It's just a constant pale light that seeps out of its funnel entrance. The mummies enter into it and really just kind of like stay close near the entrance, sort of like are gesturing for you to please enter.
Do we need a sweater to go through that?
It's not cold. Like, it's not cold in like a temperature sense. It's more cold in like an inviting sort of sense. It's like really harsh fluorescent lighting. Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's too bright, and yet I can't really see anything. Kind of,
Okay, and I look back to my group, and I just like walk through it.
Okay. Yeah. How about the rest of you all? Ellie's YOLOing over here.
YOLO! Can't stop me, Mom.
I mean, well, I could actually, but I don't because you're going through that teenage phase. It's fine. I went through it too. I just did it in hell, so literally. But I'll wait. I'll count. She'll count to 3, and then go after Ellie.
Okay.
1, 2. Just screaming in pain. I don't need to spell something and pull her out of there. It's okay. Now it's
There's nothing. Yeah. There are no screams of horror or anything like that.
okay. She's not melting. All right. Yeah. All right.
And then
I think that requires me to like dimension door in and out.
right. And is
don't need to rewind time and stop her. We're good. All right.
There's no nothing happens or anything like that. Ellie's gone in, Mer's gone in. I'm assuming Gildan and Ninizen follow.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Kind of miss the days when we had to tie ropes to hand axes and lob them at every stone to make sure we don't die on the other side of that bright light. But I actually don't miss those days. Let's just float on in.
You enter into a sort of like an L-shaped room. You're entering it on the small part of the L, as there's all these like columns and pillars that support a vast sort of vaulted ceiling above you that kind of extends to your right and then back behind you. At each of these pillars are these sham lights, these magical sham lights that sort of like give off this pale.
Is it anything like a sham wow?
It sort of like soaks up. But you can see that as you sort of pass in into here, that like your imp becomes visible. And it's sort of like flying nearby you, and it's sort of like as you pass through, it goes from visible or invisible to visible. I'm not sure if anyone else has any invisible stuff around.
I can turn invisible, but not anything.
Like I don't know if anybody has like invisible creatures or critters or anything like that nearby. But for what is it, for Ellie?
Yeah. So my imp is chilling.
Lindy's imp is chilling. I can't remember where yours was.
I think he was on the skiff with the others.
Maybe. I think I put him in my backpack or my bag.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, he is in backpack. Yeah. What do you call him? Beelzebub baby.
The babies.
Yeah.
And then I think Gildan's 6 imps were back on the. If I recall, they were back on the skiff at least for a while. Axtreamer was babysitting them.
They've been following me invisibly the entire time.
Yeah, the entire time in the elf.
Stingers pointed at my head, ready for me to make a wrong move.
Skiff is gone. That skiff is gone.
Oh, I don't know. I'm way higher ranked in the devil
They're lawful.
terms. They would fear my wrath.
But I liberated them.
Right, they're half in the closet by now. Mer's imp, appears, and if Ellie's yours is with you, then it appears as well. And it just it seemed like it was like chilling on your shoulder, maybe, or I don't know.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
You finally woke up.
Yeah.
Unless you were there the whole time and I didn't notice.
Oh, I've been here for a while, yeah.
You want some baguette? Garlic.
Ugh. What is that?
Okay, you can have my last cricket.
Oh yeah, all right, I'll take the cricket. Anyway.
I was the
Just
only
like-
cricket he needed.
He eats it like a wood chipper.
What is this place?
I don't know. I was hoping you could tell me. I woke up with a bad smell. Yeah, visible. So everybody can see this, of course, as this imp, this like smaller than the other imps. Just kind of like sitting, kicking its feet off Ellie's shoulder, like Kermit, and just devouring a cricket. And Mers, as yours become visible, it like clearly gets anxious and tries to go invisible again. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then
I
just
look at it
polymorphs
knowingly.
and is like, and goes and is now it's that you're the feline creature. Cat is too generous. That it was earlier. At the moment, it seems as though you guys just walked in. The mummies are kind of entering in the room and passing into the chamber that's kind of behind you. How about Ninizen and Gildan? Anything from y'all as you enter in?
No.
I want to take a good look around. Is there anything out of the ordinary? And I'm going to call upon my blessing of the wise to sort of enhance my perception as I'm trying to discern if there's anything out of the ordinary in this room.
Okay. Yeah, give me a perception.
24.
So, you're pretty in tune with a lot of different things of the Waste, right? A lot of different magical traditions, a lot of different ways of doing things out here. You can tell that you're in a room that's had like old magic practiced in it, and it has had enough of the same kinds of magic practiced in it enough and repeated enough over long centuries that it's changed the place that it's in. You're pretty sure that this sort of like, dispelling of invisibility effect is a part of the light, and that there's something else above the lights that's sort of obscured by now. But it's also, you get the impression that it's not something that you would wish to see.
Kind of relay.
Do you want to see it more, Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Relay what I've learned to Myrrh. She knows that magic stuff.
I do. I'd like to see if I can kind of reach out my magic feelers and see if I can get a better feel of what its purpose might be.
Mm-hmm. You can make me an Arcana check.
Okay.
They expect you not to dawdle.
Am I still poisoned? Has it been an hour?
Yeah, it has not been an hour yet.
Okay. Oh, well, that's still not awful. Okay. 24. Have a good Arcana.
Yeah, so you've identified between you and Gildan, kind of like put your heads together as you're in here. You know that there's some sort of ward or glyph or something inscribed on the ceiling. It's not like that you can see it. It's more that you can like sense its presence beyond.
Okay.
Yeah. And that this light that's here is almost a shield against whatever's on the ceiling.
Okay.
Like if you were to fly up there, if you were to get above the light, the sources of light you might be able to see, or if you were to somehow dispel it, or if it was just be turned off, you would see it.
I mean, I could dispel it, but I don't think that's a great idea right now. So,
but as the two of you are like getting heads, what's going on here? What's this? What's that? I'd like to hear from Ninizen, and then I'll sort of like describe the rest of, set up the rest of the scene.
When not talking to Memnon, Ninizen has been communicating with his past self as his past self's future self. So he's a little distracted, or they're a little distracted.
Mm-hmm.
What do the lights look like? Like, do they look kind of like lights, like we know lights?
No, they're not. They seem to be like objects, maybe lanterns or something that have been enchanted. They don't have like an inner glow or anything.
Mm-hmm. Like electrical pulse or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm still not exactly sure if Ninizen is from the future or not.
Sure. So you're just kind of like you're following along. You're not like setting up for anything or like preparing for an ambush or anything like that.
Much like me, Nenizen is out of it, but there.
All right. Okay. Gotcha. You are led into this room, and as you sort of turn the corner into it, you see that it has two other levels, and like descends some steps to a level and then descends another step. It's still this big vaulted, columned kind of place. And at the far end, down at the lowest level, there is a figure, a hunched, sort of emaciated looking humanoid figure. Its back is to you, and it has a variety of like what looks like an alchemical smock or something. Is it a robe? Is it a utility cloak? You're not sure, but it is voluminous and sort of hides part of his or its emaciated frame. And the three mummies that you are with proceed ahead of you and presumably do something to get its attention, because it turns, and as it looks at you, see that its left eye is a dull sapphire of some kind. It's sort of like a deep midnight blue without any sort of hint of sparkle or inner light. And then the other eye socket of this emaciated skeletal face is a pinprick of icy cold blue light. And it sort of like turns to you and looks at you with its skeletal visage. And in a voice, rattling and dry and dusty, like, "Ooh, why have you disturbed me? Who are these lost that you bring me?" Do any of y'all respond to that?
I'm looking at
really
Murph for
scared.
permission first.
Verse sees the look of permission and is like, even if I say no, he's probably going to say anything. He's probably going to talk, so.
Mm-hmm. There's an exchange.
Oh, I was just going to be like, this is Mur. She led us here.
We're with her.
With her.
And there's an exchange as they make audible noise for the first time. They sort of like project their psychic voices outward. And it's this sort of hollow, sort of distant voice. And in the interest of my voice, I won't have a conversation between a lich and a mummy ghost.
How are you sure? I think that'd be real cool, Jim.
You guys, I'm sure you can imagine it. You guys, powerful and vivid imaginations, fine role players. And basically that the mummies are like, we are here to introduce and present Axe Dreamer and his companions who have returned to rescue us. And it looks as though this skeletal figure with its gem eye is only half buying it. Seems skeptical and approaches, is now on like the second level, one level below where you're at. And is more just, "You mean to tell me that the Axe Dreamer is here? This is you?"
This is indeed the Axe Dreamer. We've been accompanying him for over a year now. I think it's been over a year. Like, live between two rivers time.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, math.
It's been about a year-ish, yeah.
For around a year now. And getting him familiar with the world as it is currently, as he was out of time for a bit.
And who are you then, that you know so much about Axe Dreamer?
I am the one who sent for his release from being stuck in time.
Well, and you see that he like comes up, and it's sort of like the skin across his flesh like dry like paper, and just like wisps of white hair poking out from underneath its hood, and like hastily and with somewhat of a limp climbs up the stairs and is now on the same level as you. Axe seems like super uncomfortable about all like this, and as you get there and you like smell like old books and just sort of a musty, dry smell. And yeah, it is a little chilly in here too. Just a little chilly.
Does he have the Hand of Winter?
He's got all of the artifacts.
All of them.
This guy's giving me some serious 13th Age vibes.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
I'm like, yeah. This is the ultimate quest giver.
He begins to work some magic, and you see him take out a scrying pool, like a bowl, like a silver bowl, and rune things, and begin to use it to cast his divinations.
Yeah.
And verify. Basically all this that you've told him. Basically does everything a high-level lich would do.
Yeah.
This wasn't lying to me.
Mer was actually surprisingly honest there. For once, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the one who got him out." For that release from stone there.
Now, Mer is you're skilled in sort of like psychic warfare, and Ninizen, you're a natural telepath, and both of you,
I specialize in psychic damage.
Right. The two of you know that this creature never once tried to probe your mind. It never once tried to like detect your thoughts or anything like that. In fact, Ninizen, you're not even sure you could reach out to it to contact it in the first place.
Interesting.
So this will take some time. We can play that out, but I think it might be a good place to sort of fast forward as this.
We feel better. We feel less poisoned.
You feel a little bit less poisoned. He basically is like, doesn't ever tell you to make yourself at home, and like never is like don't move. But as he goes about casting these spells and working his magic,
I'm gonna pay attention to that.
Yeah, this is not like, if you walk around or, just as long as you don't mess with stuff, he doesn't seem to be bothered by it. And I think that was also good enough time that like Icky's probably broken through the wall and at least very major way to that balcony as it crosses over the alchemical sludge.
Oh yeah. Icky is like 100% breaking shit. It's like, I don't know what's happening, but we're gonna destroy everything in here. There's nobody there to tell Icky to be careful with this sludge.
Yeah, I mean, you smell it the instant you break through the wall.
Yeah, Icky's a giant hadrosaur.
What size? Is it large or huge?
Large.
Okay.
Even in Icky's regular form, Icky's like 350 pounds. So
just wild shape into some
goo. I probably could. Wild shape. But
a little thing.
I'm concerned about Memnon.
Yeah. I mean, Memnon, if he's actually passed out again because he's like leading you through the tunnels, go down this one, not that one. Now he can come back.
Oh yeah.
He can. He's got that. He's an NPC. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Icky's like gonna stop by the bridge and like cautiously press a foot on the bridge just to test it. This is a problem.
Yeah, you might, if you were feeling confident, be able to like hop from ruined outcropping to rubble pile. I don't know what the dex score on a hadrosaur's like.
Whoo boy. See, and now I'm like, dang, I don't think there's anything I can wild shape into.
You could try. You can always just be like, I'm a lizard, and that's like a tiny creature, right? Like
yeah. Except I am gonna wild shape back.
Yeah.
Because I think, I'm just gonna check something super fast. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
Sure. Those of you in the in this blue lit hall, this thing hasn't introduced itself yet. Literally it heard what Mur had to say and then started taking out its divination tools. But after a few minutes, Streamer actually asks a question. It's like these nobles, whoever, you said you had my axe. And after a few moments of silence, the skeletal figure turns around and like, I do. Kept a great many things when I saw what was happening. But that was a long time ago. And that's kind of the only...
How long ago exactly?
He looks at Mur and says that it is difficult to calculate given the damage that our world has suffered. At least 5 centuries.
Interesting.
But, as I said, it's not the exact thing given our predicament.
So, can we have the axe back, please?
Yeah.
He's like the other human in the room. This is just like there'd be 2 humans up in this party.
Yeah,
there's 2 humans here.
At you for a minute,
like because technically, axe streamers shouldn't even be alive by any natural means.
Yeah. He looks like he's in his mid-30s ish. And the creature looks at you and is just, what are you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was very rude. I didn't even introduce myself. Hello, my name is Ellie. She extends her hand.
It doesn't. It doesn't make any move to shake your hand.
She does that awkward just fixing my hair thing.
Cast command on him and command him to shake Ellie's hand. No, I'm just kidding.
Counterspell.
The worst sequence.
That's who I am. We did travel kind of far, and you have a lovely place here, but we're just gonna get straight to the point. Can he have his axe back so we can save you guys and help?
Are there more of you?
More of us?
Humans, people, us. And he actually stops the whole divination thing at that point.
Hit the pause button.
Ellie.
Hold up. Humans.
Yeah.
Not us. Mur just kind of says, not yet.
Gildan definitively says yes.
Oh.
And I'm not lying either.
She's not full human, though.
No, there are plenty of humans.
Where? Did you say this out loud? Or are you just making the player argument? Okay.
No.
Gildan,
there are plenty of humans.
Where?
So Gildan is going to kneel down to the ground, which he's already very close to. And he's going to pull out a piece of chalk. And he's going to mark, and then he's going to mark, and then he's going to draw a line. He's going to say, we are somewhere about here. And he's going to mark, and he's going to then dot along the line. The humans are along here, leading up. He's making sure it's more to the left, and he's kind of drawing with his finger. He's like, the humans are at a different time, but there's lots of humans. The humans simply are at a different time than now.
And you start talking about time stuff, and he's just foolish goblin. Don't try to fool me with your...
I'm not fooling you, though, and you can check if I'm lying or not, because there are humans at different points in time. There are. Mur, why don't you show him a little bit about how that time looks?
Goblin, tell me, where did you come from? And he's pointing. He's not pointing menacingly, except he's a slow lich, so he can't do anything not menacingly. At Ellie.
Well, I came from my house. My dad actually made me.
Made you. Just eating eyebrows.
Mer gets an idea. She's like, oh my god, we could just test tube all of the undead people here, shove their souls in there, and they'd be regular humans again.
We could find some fossilized mosquitoes and extract and combine the DNA with that of a frog.
I mean, at least Dad liked me. We play.
While all this is going on, I don't know if you saw my message, TK, but DC 20 perception check. They're not that far from the pile of the pool of alchemical sludge.
Nah.
And the lich was not trying to be quiet or anything. It was like shouting and was loud.
Nah. Icky,
Okay.
even in Hadrosaurus form, got a 16. So
You just sort of like hear the shouting coming from some indeterminate direction.
Icky has, even though it would be hilarious to transform into a huge ass snail. And I thought about it. I was like, but I don't know how big the tunnels are. Some other time, Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Some other time.
Yeah.
You better believe me, one of these days I'm gonna be a huge ass snail. I'm gonna go ahead and be a giant riding lizard so I can spider climb.
Okay. Yeah. So you just climb along the ceiling till
I like to imagine that Icky hasn't gotten the hang of the wild shape yet. So instead of like getting all the way back to regular lizard, she like stops halfway between Hadrosaurus and giant riding lizard. So her face is just like a smushed abomination of like multiple lizard faces. If Memnon were conscious, it would be super fucking horrifying.
Oh, Blue would be very proud of you.
Thank you.
awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna spider climb the rest of the way there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go off the ceiling. I'm just gonna stay on the ceiling the whole time.
Okay, then it's as you get to like the other side that you would see that down one of the passages leading off from the other balcony is this blue light. And like once you're there, you can tell like, oh, obviously that's where the shouting is kind of coming from.
Yeah, she's going to flick her 3 forked tongues irritably.
Right. Yeah, it's all true. The Medusa does have
We're gonna get
I-
fucking Akira up in this shit.
So,
All right.
yeah,
so yeah, so all this is going on. It's sort of like coming back and it's just sort of asking, like, made you? What do you mean, made you?
Well, there's a thing that looks like this, and then she draws like where Gildan kind of was drawing. She's gonna like mess up the map a little bit, and then it's I think it's like a tube, and he made me with some stuff that I don't know what is I don't know what it's called. But so basically, I was born in that little tube thing, and then I appeared.
It was not possible. And he's sort of like you're more like talking to himself now as he's like turns and moves back to his divinations. Genesis chamber. No, and you just like he's clearly
Omer is dropping eaves on all of his theories and what works versus what she dropping eaves on all of that. Like, no one works.
to himself like she was never able to accomplish it in that. No, and it's just like muttering that sort of underneath. Well, it doesn't really.
Oh yeah, because Ellie looks almost just like her. Like her, yeah.
Wait, who are you talking about? If you don't believe me, I could take you.
Where?
Well, who are you talking about first?
Someone I knew long ago.
How long ago? Was she your girlfriend or wife?
No.
Did you want her to be?
Did she look a lot like Ellie?
Remarkably.
Ellie's eyes just like widen.
You want to go where the
Uncle
people
Bill!
grow.
Then yes, it is possible, and yes, she did it.
He's you can tell it's sort of like the light in his eyes seems to sharpen. If that makes
Yeah. I like the pinpoint focuses a little bit tighter. Yeah. Like when you get the backlight and you just adjust the focus. Yeah.
And it's for a long time. It sort of like shuffles over towards this chair that's next to a dust covered, like there's a goblet there, but it clearly hasn't been touched in a long time. And some other sort of like a tray that's been tarnished and dust covered. It just sits there and stares at Axe Dreamer and Ellie for a good long while, long enough for Icky to come in on the ceiling, if that's what Icky's doing.
Icky gonna do it.
Okay. See. So you reach this archway on the left-hand side. Out of it pours this sort of pale blue light. You can come in and make the entrance that you want to make.
Yeah. Poor Icky. Icky's little saltwater taffy body right now because she hasn't really gotten the hang of it, so she like twists on her waist all the way around and like looks down and like puts her four of her riding lizard hands on her hips and just looks very annoyed. Licks an eyeball nervously.
So you come in and how far up like the wall do you go? Because the ceiling of the tunnel is like way lower than the ceiling of this chamber.
How high does the chamber go?
It looks like it goes up at least 25 feet, but this light only extends up to about 20 feet or so, and like
I
the
will
5 feet is shrouded.
I'll at least stay like on the edge of the light.
Okay. All right.
How much time has passed since I cast Pass Without Trace?
It's almost been an hour for that.
I'm gonna ride that out.
Yeah. It won't be too much longer. Because you pretty made your way like straight there using them as directions. And so you can see your friends. They seem to be past this sort of corner. You enter the room, sort of double back. There's like a series of tiers that lead down. They're on the top of one of those tiers, and there's like some skeleton dude with a sapphire eye and a toothy grin, just sort of like staring at Axe Dreamer and Ellie. Everybody else is kind of standing around. There's some mummies. You remember them from earlier.
Does anybody look like they're getting ready to, like, I don't know, flame strike him or?
I think everybody looks like they're just hanging out. Like, what has everybody been doing?
Does anyone look like they're ready to attack him? How do I like?
I have a.
Yeah.
Attacking this guy, he's just going to cause like a poison cloud to appear around him, and then we die. He'll be immune to it.
I don't know. Icky just got here, so Icky's kind of like, are we killing this dude?
Poison. I'm okay with that.
We're all smoking good weed at this point. He's pretty chill. Like, I think I don't know about everyone else. Gildan's pretty relaxed around this guy because, with a wave of his hand, he'd probably kill us, and he hasn't yet. He seems very fixated on humans.
And that's why Murr's so on. Like, Murr's always paranoid, but Murr's like you can see her eyes are constantly going, Ellie, for Christ's sake, Ellie, for Christ's sake. Like head count, like the daycare head count. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, got them all. She's just okay. Look, eavesdropping. 1, 2. Okay,
it's like a bowl of cheese balls in the middle. I get it. I went to college. I know what's up.
Actually, we're just like shifting.
I did too, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't worry about it.
There is a long silence as the skeletal figure doesn't say anything. The mummies don't say anything. And you guys are free to sort of plan or talk as you like. But after this silence, the poison's worn off. You guys could have taken a short rest if you like. The skeletal figure stirs. It has been too long, and I have given up hope. But you are our champion, returned to us. and and he kind of walks over to an empty space on the wall, and dips his skeleton finger just in an inkwell, and kind of like draws it with his finger on the wall. As he draws, it kind of creates it looks like dissolves the wall and reveals a space behind it.
Paid very close attention to that.
Okay. There's a the mummies seem to be, they're all crowded around looking at him. And does anybody actually go over to see what he's doing, or
A little bit.
okay.
Yeah. Ellie will kind of like poke her head up.
Yeah, Mers.
Okay.
Curious.
It appears as the room beyond is some sort of dimly lit vault of some kind, and you can see what appear to be fairly well preserved coffers and chests and barrels and other sorts of things. And he's not in there very long, for it comes out with a long wooden box he seems to be carrying with ease, despite being a skeleton, and lays it down in front of Axe Dreamer. When the city fell and the Emperor was destroyed, I preserved what I could and did many things in great haste. I had thought that was in vain and that I had sold my soul for nothing. And he kind of like pushes the box more towards Axe Dreamer. Do with this what you will, and leave me be. And he goes back down and walks down the 3 tiers.
Yes, regrets. Just so sad.
Are you gonna open it?
He's kind of staring at it.
Let's just make it easy, bro.
You need help opening it?
No, I got it. He bends down, and there's no there's no lock on it. He just like flips open the latch, and inside, let me see real quick, because as the DM, I was just like, what kind of ridiculous, stupid armor and weapons would an epic level paladin?
So is it like an axe, but a Holy Avenger axe?
Well, for one, it's basically, yeah.
It's a Holy Avenger axe.
But there's like gold. It's the most. Yeah, it's like trad fantasy, right? So it's there's a suit of highly detailed and polished plate armor and a like a long bearded axe that has sort of like other tines, I guess, that have been added on to. It looks as though it's been added on to over the years, because it does not seem as though it was a like a forged piece. It looks like this part's been repaired, and this part of the handle's been reinforced, and then it looks like this part's been added on as a guard for this, and so it's like this I don't know, a unique looking axe. Let me see real quick. He looks at them and sort of almost as if he doesn't recognize them, and then just begins to take the things out of the box, and they seem remarkably well preserved. He doesn't find any.
Do I recognize them from the murals?
Yes, exactly. They look exactly like the armor he was wearing when he was.
Mer tries real hard. She succeeds because she's got a great poker face, but inside she's giving a little giggle, like, "That's so ridiculous looking."
Yeah, it's very and also like super hot for the desert, right?
Yeah.
And he immediately is just kind of like, he's like, "What? Sorry, Grant. What'd you say?"
I was gonna say, I have a technical question. Is there a belt buckle on the armor that contains his flying unicorn? Like you push the button and it releases it? That's some old school D&D stuff.
I was going to wait until he got the find greater steed before he gets it.
Okay.
If he ever gets there. Yeah. because he's going to have to give up his chocobo horse. But he's like looking at it, and it seems almost like if I wore this, I'd just sweat to death. Like and just like mutters that to Myrrh, like not even loud enough for Ellie to hear necessarily. He's just like,
but you look so fantastical.
He just like, all right, okay, all right, and he starts like suiting up.
Take it off between battles.
Yeah, he's like, and he's like, I can't decide between. He's like Ninnison or Gildan or Ellie. It was just somebody help me. I need somebody.
I'll help him. I'm proficient in these armors. I think it'll help. It'll help.
That's right. Yes.
Like
actually the only one who really would actually be of help.
Yeah.
Well, I've helped a lot of people out of armor, and the reverse isn't that much different.
I'm like the mice from Cinderella, like putting it from we could do it, we could do it. I'm like,
Gildan animates like half the room as tiny servants.
Yes.
That's all right. So there's really like, the guy's not kicking you out of his room. It takes, it takes actually a while to put this on. It's clearly been a long time since he's worn like a full magical plate harness. And it looks as ridiculous as it would seem in the conditions that he's in. So are you guys just chilling out here, helping him out, or formulating anything? I mean, the mummies don't seem to be doing much. They seem to be conferring amongst themselves. They've sort of formed a triad off in the corner, and they haven't really said anything to anyone yet.
Is the Lich still around?
Mm-hmm. He's further back in the room doing something. Something magical or lichy.
Or lichy.
Yeah.
Ellie will go and talk to it.
Okay. It gets to like the second tier, and it sort of like turns around and it's like, what?
Well, I just wanted to talk about stuff. You mentioned a person that looks like me.
Yes.
Was she a nice person?
No.
What did she do that made her not a nice person?
She attained power. We both did. There was nothing nice about it.
How did she attain power?
She was brilliant. Her mind would devise new magic. But she was reckless. I have not heard of her in some time. Mere coincidence that you look like her.
Yeah.
He tries to convince himself.
Probably. What a coincidence that is. Okay, so if she was around by like crazy chance, like, would you want to see her? Or kill her or something? I don't know. Crazy thoughts in my head.
I cannot leave this place. It would do me no good to see her if she were still alive. Best, she is forgotten.
Okay. Are you sure you're okay? Like, is there anything else wrong? Do you want to talk about it?
Kind of.
Please let the Lich say yes.
You just seem like very angry, and like I understand it kind of sucks just being stuck in here, I'm sure, for many a year or whatever, centuries.
Yeah, I mean, Liches do go crazy because they have nothing better to do than sit around in anguish. So
yeah, I could.
Maybe you can talk Lich.
Like, do you need more activities to do here? I could help with ideas.
He sort of like listens to your pitch. Mm-hmm. There is very little that you could do for me, I think. But to know this, when our people fell, when we were ruined by this demon and enslaved, I did everything I could to preserve what we had there in that vault. If it is that this demon is to be overthrown, I would rather perish with it and end my life such as it is. You can take what I have stored if it would please you, but you cannot help me.
Would a hug please you?
No.
Okay.
Inside check.
Are you sure? I mean, I think hugs change the way a person's feeling sometimes, like makes them happier. But that's just me.
I'll give you a persuasion check. What's everybody else doing?
Can I inspire Ellie for this persuasion check?
Sure, yeah. You guys are in a big room bouncing each other.
Yeah.
17?
Did you use do you want to use inspiration on that?
Yes.
Okay, that's a D8.
Oh.
Oh, it's actually D10. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Get that lich hug.
I
Make
can
it feel
actually.
better.
+9.
So, like 26. Yeah.
He won't stop you if you try to hug.
Okay. Does Ellie know this, or is
Yeah, do you says no, and you're like, for sure, and just sort of like this, like you sense like an imperceptible moment of vulnerability.
I mean, when's the last time he had a hug?
Well, first off, you guys are assuming he's a lich. I have never once said he's a lich. Anyways,
That is
Oh.
untrue.
You've said lich lots of
I
times.
use it.
Said lich.
yeah, that's true. I'm wrong. Sorry, guys, that's true. So yeah, you sense this sort of like temporary, lots of different kinds of liches.
But also, the mummies don't seem like huggers. So
no,
like,
their arms
yeah.
are wrapped up.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
are they?
Are they this kind of?
I tell you, like they float. They're like mummies. They're wrapped up.
Oh,
They
okay.
at least-
They're more concerned with their own self-care, which valid.
Mhm.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Their own
sometimes,
self-hug.
Half of them is encased in ceremonial
Yeah.
stuff. You know.
like seriously, when was the last time he had a hug?
Probably 500 years.
You're right.
Long
Yeah.
time.
So you descend the steps to the bottom tier, and
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway. And then she like goes and like kind of like hugs him gently and like pats him on the back.
I wish I had a tiny skeleton hand.
Me too now. It hopefully will be done. So you feel better?
Let's see. I need to roll the dice.
I know.
So mad.
It's gonna be okay. You know, you're very grumpy and it's gonna be okay. And whatever you decide to do, I support it. You did a great job for your people.
Oh no.
I'm very inspired.
Don't upset him.
I think that might deserve
3 times that day.
a lich tier. And out of his gem, a piece of it splinters off, right? Like just not like cracks, but like something. Yeah, there's something. I don't know. It doesn't, something with the gem. Maybe.
We'll
Maybe
figure it
it's
out.
actual tears. These actual tears. All right. Ellie sees it.
I wish Ellie would write my daily affirmations.
After their touching moment, Gildan's tugging on his robe down below. It's kind of motioning. He would like the lich's attention.
I'm sure you would.
Yes.
Are you looking for hired help?
To what end? Like,
I want to be like you. I
You
turn
want
to
to-
stone.
good. You're asking him to teach you how to do this to yourself?
Well, I think there's a lot to learn from him. I think it would take a long time to do that to myself. However, seeing how the Medusa started two-timing on me, I think, batching it with a lich for a little while.
Right. Not such a bad plan.
No.
You see, this sort of like stands up after this moment with Ellie, and he's kind of, if this task of yours, this overthrowing of the demon is successful, I might entertain your question.
All right. I'm just going to leave him with, I'm going to open my mind to him, and he can see how my first interaction with Tengrith was punching him in his effing face. Just remember, I walked up and I smashed him, and I hit him twice, and we got into it. So it's like, I was kind of noticed, like, just know we're on the same side.
He seems convinced, right? Like you've all shown him that you seems a degree of sincerity and determination really brought some joy into his life. And
Merry Lichmas.
Right. He goes about actually was getting used to this long lost gear, and it's a few minutes later. It's a few minutes after this exchange when a very distant and muffled bell or something, you can hear it, definitely coming from the surface, and the first intonation of the first time you hear it, the three mummies as well as this alleged lich snap to attention and kind of look towards the entrance to this room. You hear it a second time. This is his call to war, says
Does this happen often?
Not in some time. A harvest of souls will begin. Something must have happened in the wasteland to bring them here. And he sort of like starts talking to himself again and kind of like trailing off and murmuring.
Merce still eavesdrops in case she picks up some useful words or something.
Yeah,
it sounds like also kind of thinking, maybe this has something to do with all those devils in the rock. That's not too far from here. I totally kicked the wastelanders.
It's just mostly just sort of like he's muttering things like,
is that treasury door still open?
Yes, the treasury door is still open.
Mer probably totally definitely was listening in on Ellie and the Lich, and if he said we could take what we wanted from there.
He kind of implied that if you were successful, you could, or if you just wanted to. At the time he did, he was like, I don't even care. You guys can do whatever you want. Like
okay. I just want to glance, see if there's anything real nice.
Yeah, most everything in here you can see is in boxes.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger stuff, there's some things that appear to be under like sheets, like canvas. But you can see what appear to be sculptures, works of art. There's a sizable bookshelf in there. It looks at least 200-ish books on it. It looks as though it's just like a small cramped room full of boxes and the like, but seems very well organized and very well kept. It's not just like a pile of stuff in there.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Just mental inventory of sheet, statue, sculpture, painting, bookcase, sheet, box.
Like long foot lockers, which look like they easily store weapons. Things like that.
Okay.
Like, look at that. They all seem to be after the second chiming of the bell. Everybody hears it. They sort of start moving, and the three mummies sort of approach the group of you, and in their sort of hollow soul voice are pretty much, we must make haste. He will be at the war palace.
Of course.
Okay, before I go, what was your name? And then I look to the lich person.
Yes.
You may call me Maxarek.
Maxarek.
Can I call you Max?
Satisfactory.
Okay.
And
Only her.
and so Smur sort of like is looking in at the
Little peek.
taking a little peek, and Ellie's doing this. I'm assuming everybody else was just kind of like hanging out, chilling.
Is it a good idea to attack him while he was preparing for war? Would it not be better to strike when he is not suspecting it?
It is a
Just throwing that out there.
as they sort of are like moving, towards the exits. The one that you'd been talking to pretty much this entire time, his collection of these souls. I forget which villain I'm doing, in which harsh voice I have. The collection of these souls is a laborious process to bring them in, and he will be distracted, focused elsewhere.
Of course. Well, rip long rest. That's fine. Whatever. I didn't need it anyways. I'll just be tired.
Just be tired. They are sort of like urging you guys to leave and are beginning to, once they're out of the Lich's lair, like they get sort of like in that hallway, begin to attempt to open up another one of their portals. If there's no objections or anything, you don't say anything to them, they pretty much just open it up and gesture for you to follow along after them. They're pretty much like we make haste towards our other allies. However, you don't want to go in there. It's not. You don't have to. So as they open the portal, are you guys going to follow them? Are you going to decide to do something else? Like, what's y'all's plan?
Did we decide that we did catch Icky up on what's happening?
Probably. I mean, there's plenty of opportunity.
There's plenty. Mer would have while dropping Eves filled Icky.
Cool, that's fine. As long as
should have been been talking and then like eavesdrop and then continue talking and then eavesdrop because
I'll just say during the short rest that we had, Icky was rearranging her face.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, like I give you guys a chance to sort of suss out everything that's that's kind of going on.
So what is the plan? What are we doing? Are we killing the demon? Is that what is happening?
At least sending it back to the abyss, apparently.
So Extreme has it. He has a new weapon and he has new armor.
Yes.
And
yes, he does.
And we are all the same. And we go kill a demon.
I have a plan, kind of.
Okay.
So we could either find out that this prince, if we kill him, it will set the souls free.
Okay.
Or if not, maybe there's some sort of spell that we need to find out to kind of reverse that.
I was planning on trying to do some research on that spell at the library, but it seems we are going now.
Well, the plan does not seem to involve killing him, though. What is the killing him plan?
I could call a friend.
Memnon is sort of like during this entire thing, he's sort of like
very strong word, Ellie.
And he pipes in is that there's perhaps potential allies amongst the other wastelanders here. I know that, and he looks specifically at Ninizen at this. He's like, I know that our kin would be easily persuaded to join us.
That would be worth it then.
So no plan.
Not yet, I don't think.
Don't love it. And they're both like, we don't like this.
Don't love it. If this is important, what is that on your shoulder? Ellie?
I picked it up in the last town. It just kind of appeared. Gildan gave it to me.
Icky's not sure if she remembers specifically meeting this thing.
I think so.
It's just a chicken
she's
nugget.
very concerned about being like increasingly surrounded by devilry.
As a
Every
kid,
time she turns around, there's a new devil or an imp or a new prince.
I want like Icky to conjure animals, like a bunch of pygmy alligators show up and eat all of our imps.
Yeah. This one just seems like why, and it's sort of like why is she going? Why is she staring at me? It seems like harmless but also petulant.
harmless yet petulant.
And do we see Myr's feline companion, or has that hidden somewhere?
It's more like tried to find a nice quiet place to just like sleep for a while, but it knows that trying to go invisible isn't.
Yeah, before we leave and it can go invisible again, I walk over to it, and I remember Future Myr told me he has something in mind, so I'm gonna walk over. And
Okay.
I believe you have something for me.
What? I don't have anything for you. No, there's been no new messages, nothing like that. I haven't nothing for you.
An offer from the Fellowship?
The who now?
Hmm?
The what now?
The Fellowship. Come now.
I don't have anything like that. If I had something like that, I would tell you because I'm supposed to just relay all that information to you. I don't know what to say.
Yes.
Hmm?
Supposed to, yes, you are. But I believe you have not been doing that as of late. At least, not with this one thing.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I gave you the
Insight
last
check! Insight check!
All
Insight! Woo! That went all the way on the floor. I was angry insight rolling. Don't angry insight. Oh, that's really good though. Because I'm terrible at insight. 19.
Okay.
Sure. Decent at deception, but it's me.
He's like you caught him at a disadvantage. He's like trying
to like invis out.
I don't have anything. The last one, that was the only thing I gave you. Nothing.
That was the only thing you gave me, but it was not all that you had to give me.
Listen. I don't. If I don't know where you're getting your information from, but I can't give you things that I don't have.
Well, the only information I get is from me, myself, and I.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds rather menacing. I don't like this tone of yours, Mark, because I promise you, I haven't done anything wrong. And if I kept something from you, well, that would just be stupid on my part.
It would be, wouldn't it? It would be incredibly stupid of you. And, but I am a benevolent devil. It's probably a weakness from all this time on the material plane, but I'm going to give you one opportunity. One. To start this conversation over again without all of this backpedaling and you know what I'm talking about. So
yeah. Okay, all right. Okay. And he takes out a small avian.
like I was just keeping a little bird in his pocket with a mess.
And takes it out of his like a pouch, keeps it underneath his tail or something. And I didn't bother it or anything. It should be fine. But accidents happen.
They do. They do. But let's try to make sure that they don't happen again in the future. No.
Sure. Listen, this one, we slipped, there was a whole big thing earlier. I just forgot about it. I'm really sorry, Mar. I didn't mean to bother you like that. I didn't mean to lie to you like that. I probably, I try to be better than this, I'm not supposed to lie to the boss.
Let's try a bit harder in the future now, shall we? And I'll kind of do
sure.
like the little cheek pinch, but a little too hard. Like
and so tries to goes back to cat form and
it's like I'm just gonna find a deeper darker corner now.
Yeah
this poor imp's like fuck did she know?
Right.
Like,
and so Myrrh has a
mm-hmm.
a tiny little creature there.
Well, it's a tweet, right? It gives me a little like a 200 character message or less. I just squeeze it a little bit. It's a little bird.
Yes, and
Cool.
it says, congratulations on dealing with the Celestial. Representatives are en route. We have an offer for you to join the Inner Council. And that's all that the bird relays to you.
Okay, cool. Goodbye, bird.
Okay.
I can't respond back via message. Later, bird.
So this really goes on. Everybody actually was getting his stuff together. Everybody else kind of.
Oh yeah, that was definitely just a little side while everyone's.
While that was going on, so these they've got their portal open. If you guys want to go in, you can. If not, the Icky at least knows a way out. What's y'all's plan? Because the mummies they are not particularly.
I mean, we came in via portal. We should leave via portal.
Otherwise, what's that from Nizen?
Like we came in portal. Makes sense to leave portal.
Would be harder to track, but I'm not gonna care. Particularly on my hair.
Okay. If you want, you can leave by the portal. And it's the same sort of otherworldly experience of being in sort of a place that's pitch black. You can't see anything you're aware of like a vast space. You don't think you're in some place confined or restricted. And you have that sense of sort of vulnerability that kind of just comes from like knowing you're in the open, but you can't really see anything other than each other. You know you're walking on something solid and hard. This time you walk a little longer. You're in the space for a couple of minutes this time. And as everyone exits, I need wisdom saving throws from you guys.
I don't super love it.
5.
Oh yeah, Madrid.
Really?
Oh, that's awful. Perception?
23.
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, wisdom saving throw. Well, that's a +0 as well. So that's going to be a 3, Jim.
Oof. All right.
It's a 14.
I got an. Oh, 14's not terrible.
If the DC 15, it doesn't matter, does it?
Wait. Are we standing within 10 feet of a Kroithik?
You are. So you get the +2 from his.
I get a 5.
I get a 16.
I'm at a 25.
Okay.
I remember we have a paladin with us for the first one.
Oh, and he's also within 10 feet of him, immune to charms and frightens as well.
Yeah.
What did we have?
If you're within 10 feet of Axe Dreamer, you get +2 to your saves, and you're immune to charms and frightens.
7.
I got 21.
21.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much Gildan and Nenizen come through. You're not sure exactly what happened, and part of it is it's not a perceptible effect yet, but it's also not debilitating. But for Icky, Ellie, and Myrrh, just like as you come through, it's a deeply unsettling place where you just came from, and has a like as you leave, you just are briefly overcome by this powerful wave of melancholy and ennui. Just and it's sort of like you're back in another one of these crumbling buildings, and it's hot and dry. It seems like it might be daytime or it becoming daytime. And so that's sort of your affect, your mood as you exit this otherworldly space and get to the other side. So there's still kind of a question of like what y'all's plan was, because we sort of brought up, but we hadn't had a chance to really like flesh it out yet. Any ideas? Because y'all are kind of alone now, alone-ish.
Ish, eh?
They're still around these floating mummies, but they don't really unless you talk to them, they don't really interact much with you.
I
And you
think
don't
we're
get the impression they like
alone-ish.
you. Yeah.
You don't see no mommies hanging around.
I need to start digging deep, see what I can uncover and research about this Tengrith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do we know any weaknesses of this guy? Because he seemed to, not have any.
He was. They were a very, very tough opponent.
Hey, Gildan.
Yes.
By any chance, and then I kind of like walk him to a corner of wherever we are.
I get
Nobody
nervous.
can, like, over here.
I look for both her moms, and I'm like, my hands are behind my back. I'm not.
Listen, relax.
Psychic
Okay.
connection can hear
Maybe
everything
Shank.
that I'm saying and thinking.
You're always so tense. You always act weird around me, and I don't know why. But,
Because you were grown in a lab, which no one believed me for the longest time.
well, that doesn't mean you should be weirded out by me. But listen, I have a question. You do magical stuff, right?
Well, I like to think of them more as miracles. They come from this sort of divine origin.
Okay. Do you know a miracle where I can talk to somebody from very far away? Like a specific person? Or anybody? Do you know anybody that could?
There's ways we can do that. What sort of person are you trying to talk to that's very far away?
Do you remember my demon friend?
Devil friend, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to ask him if he knows anything about this prince. You know, kind of do like some dirty work for us.
Okay. I'm gonna need to sleep on it, and I mean that in the most polite way, meaning each morning when I wake up, I put on my ceremonial and ritualistic puppet show, and depending on the parts of the play that we play out, I'll know different miracles that I can perform for the next 24-hour period, more or less. So, let me do a little bit of research. That's a really good plan.
D&D way to put that.
What was
Okay.
that?
That's a very D&D way to put that. Yeah.
You know, that's fine. It
like
was
it.
just a question, but definitely let me know while I try to think of another plan to save all these people and souls.
For sure, and I'll be praying for you. I'm trying to think of a good way to. Yeah, I need to pray to see if I can come up with the right solution to your problem, because I believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pray for you.
I just need
Thank you.
Yeah, I just need to do a
Sleep
little
on it.
digging. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for always being there for me. You're really kind and you're very smart. And I just give him a hug and then go back to the rest of the squad.
Okay.
I'm like the whole time just eating the death stares that I know might be coming my way. And it's just my hands are behind my back. My thoughts are clean. My thoughts are pure. I never touched your daughter.
Right. So Ellie's looking for some way to get in touch with Abros to just kind of ask him some questions. You don't want to call him to throw down. You just want to talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not yet. Right?
Yeah.
But soon. But not yet.
So you've been taken to what appears to be another one of these partially reinforced buildings that you've seen throughout the different neighborhoods of the city. And when you first arrived, the three mummies didn't really, they didn't turn to you or say anything. They sort of let you get acclimated. but as they kind of they turn around and address sort of the group of you, but really are only talking to Axe Dreamer. They sort of talk at you, but the few exchanges you've had with them, they seem very sort of like dismissive and also I don't know what you call it, arrogant and you know,
rude,
desperate would be some of the things you've picked up. But they seem like they're wanting to talk to him about just sort of like, you know, all right, now that you've got your stuff, when are you, you know, like, when are we going to be saved? Is sort of the gist of their opening opening question to him.
I make sure that my cubic gate is in my pocket, just in case shit goes down south real fast. We got a GTFO.
Okay.
Just planar shift us all. Can just throw that out there.
Okay, so you got it handy.
Yep. Easy access.
What are y'all's thoughts on like what do y'all think about like the task that has been taken up?
I'm saving all these people. Ellie's all for it. Like, especially after befriending that leech. Yeah, leech. The lich. And
somebody pronounces it that way.
Probably.
Somebody does.
Yeah.
Sorry, English is my second language, so like forgive me. Anyway. But yeah, Ellie's all for this because obviously she loves making friends and she wants justice in the world. So she definitely wants to help out and is brewing ideas.
Okay. Anybody else? Any thoughts?
I mean, Mer's honest thoughts are just kind of like, I mean, I guess we have to at this point. Fine. She's not enthused.
Yeah.
At all. She's amused though. She's incredibly amused, but completely unenthused.
Just sort of like don't want to have to go through the hassle, or like it's too dangerous and this is
too dangerous. But apparently we're doing it anyway, so I guess we'll start gearing up. And I'm tired and we were supposed to sleep and we didn't.
Right, that's true. You guys were getting ready to
long rest,
go to bed. Yes. Before the chase across the city and all this other stuff. And okay, yeah. So thanks for creeping in. Anybody thoughts from anybody else?
So,
in character or out? Just
in character. This is gonna be my best Sunday punch. I'm gonna wait for Ellie to come over.
Did you find something? Did you pray hard?
I'm gonna confess to you. I did no such prayers at all. But, I like you, Ellie, and you're worth whatever this is gonna cost me. But, let's see what the toll's going to be. And
wait, what do you mean?
Gildan pulls out a couple puppets, and he pulls out a blade of glass, and he kind of smashes it on the side of his head, and he kind of grinds it in. He starts bleeding is coming through his hands, and he's just like talking with the puppet in gibberish, though Myrrh knows without a doubt that he's speaking infernal. And he's going to cast Planar Ally, where the cost is this guy's going to charge us like 100 gold pieces a minute. And I really don't carry cash on me, but I think I'm going to cause your big devil friend to appear, and you can hit him up for information. That's going to be my final spell slot. But
okay.
Right. I mean, we're not going to ask him to like go to war for us. We're just going to hit him up for information. How dare you summon me?
So Ellie, as soon as she sees that you're bleeding, she's gonna take out like a little rag or something and start like dabbing.
Don't you dare! Yeah, I defend myself and I kind of put my handprint on your face so it's on yours too. This is part of the ritual. You've gotta let the blood flow.
Yeah, my face is just like full of blood now. Like, okay.
This is like phone a friend.
Right. Right. There's so there's a shriek that pierces the air and the sound of discordant music. and a pentagram of sulfurous light forms on the floor, and Abros appears. And he sort of like looks around and
You.
and it mostly addresses Gildan because Gildan is the summoner.
Yes.
And it's just like, what is the task then?
Hi.
The task is to provide us with a sound battle plan to defeat Tengrith, the demon prince. For you are the greatest warrior that we know throughout all planes.
Right. We need you to get all the information because we want to destroy it.
Well, and he begins the negotiation process with Gildan.
Yeah. I give you these 6 imps. And I hold them up like popsicles.
Oh my god.
It's a regift.
But you know that they work because they come off the shelf.
I wanted to get from Gildan, I assure you. He never actually goes out and buys you something. He just re-gifts something. He took what he got from
6 imps for...
the best you're ever going to get.
6 imps worth of battle strategy.
For a consulting sesh.
That's pretty good.
Let's see. It's not dangerous or suicidal. So it'd be worth half. So it's not non-hazardous, which means it would be half.
I'm doing this for Ellie.
No, I will take it. Yeah. Well, you wish to slay this demon, Tengrith. That suckling pig. I wish I was there for that. And he just starts you can see him dripping like acidic saliva, and is just amped up about.
I hand him a tissue.
Thank you. He dabs his.
Jim, you play great fiends.
Well, listen, you guys, all these years, you guys would murk my monsters. I can never role play any of these monsters, so that's why I made a setting where there's all monsters. So
that's actually really a really good reason to do it. Yeah, that's why I like this setting.
See, he probably spends a while. He seems to know more about this demon than you guys do, at least by reputation. And suggests that Tengrith is not a fighter, and that everything that Abros knows about him is that he's just a coward, as far as demons go. This is not this is not Baphomet or Yonohu or one of the other, just savage, bestial, fighter demons. As far as Abros knows, he's silver sometimes will do the trick, or fire can sometimes burn them. Acid tends to be useless and poison. Truly, if you wish to destroy them, you must consume them afterwards and devour their flesh, seek out their essence, and bind it into an object. You just see that clearly goes off into an obsessive deep end about all the different ways to destroy a demon.
And the devils would know.
Yeah, Merg probably knows some of these, but she's like, why is he going through all the crude and disgusting ones first?
So you give me an insight check.
Yeah.
As you're there. Anybody who's talking.
No, Mer doesn't trust this punk at all. Oh, I incited. Hold up.
I have a dirty 20.
22?
I never insight, guys. I have no wisdom.
I also got a 22.
22.
This guy sucks.
I only got 14.
14.
It's fucking
22,
close.
14. From Ellie and then Mer.
21.
It's 22.
22. Oh wow.
Yeah.
There's something about the way he's talking about this that makes it seem like he hasn't done this in a long time.
Ambrose or
It's actually kind of
Arbros?
more creepy.
Yes.
Are
How long has it been since you've actually murdered a demon?
And he kind of, without he's just, that information is above your security clearance, Mer, and you know it.
Well, it just seems like it's been an awful long while.
You think maybe he could do it for
Kind of
us?
seems like just
We subtly bring up a zone of truth to goblin bully him. I'm just kidding.
No. If our daughter will consort with devils, perhaps we need one that is more experienced.
and that's like, he's just like, oh yeah.
Silent fist bump under the table with her.
And
He
he's
doesn't know how to like it.
He's offering to help. He sounds a little killer.
very well then. You listen. And he like is literally
Unless you'd like to prove us wrong.
He's like looking for hidden kind of like whatever.
Uh-huh. Mer's trying to just goad him into helping for free. Like, unless you'd like to prove us wrong.
Yeah, I would love that.
Like,
I mean, all Ellie has to do is say his name 3 times and show up and fight him.
Oh, Ellie knows this.
He's
Yeah,
like,
but that's not free. That's just no charge right now.
oh yeah, no charge.
Yeah.
Sort of.
yeah.
Well, that's a
Just
friendship.
trying to goad him in with this Gildan thing. This Gildan bit, because Gildan
It's
already
friendship.
made a deal for 6 M's. She's just trying to get him the extra for free.
Fake ass.
But friendship.
Infernal friendship.
No, he was honest with you. He was never lying. So it was always with cautious on it. There is a absence in our enemy, a silence that we have endured for some time. I will not let this demon escape me because I must have my fill. And you could just, he's like, you can tell he's like a seething, there's like a something in him. He's like amped and, he's almost like jittery with how excited he seems to be.
With anticipation.
Yes. When you do battle with this one, addressing Ellie, summon me and I will bring the hosts of hell.
Yes. That sounds awesome. I think we should do it. What do you guys think?
If it's true that you have to like eat it to kill it,
I mean,
maybe we can let him.
there's not much that tastes worse than demon.
Yeah,
It's pretty gross. Souls are much
Maybe-
better.
maybe a lich, maybe.
I haven't tried it.
Liches are minty.
That's true.
Ellie's face is just like disgusted by this. Like,
He's like looking back and forth. And she's like looking at his watch,
He's about to charge you.
Yeah.
Of course, no fire, no poison.
So,
no
I
acid.
mean, like the purpose of the spell, right, was to sort of like talk about how to sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got
I wanted.
distracted as
I
soon as
was
he-
really the purpose of the spell was I'm friends with Ellie, and I wanted to make Ellie happy, and it was the best that I could do.
It was
I also
good.
got rid of 6 imps.
Gildan, thank you so
Troublemaker.
much for that. You could keep my last, and then she pulls out like the last little like tissue fabric thing. The last one I have. I'm sorry you had to go through that, and she like dabs the blood, and then she forgets she has blood on her face. So, but just let me know before you do that because I don't want you to get hurt.
It's okay. I can, and I go "Ooh," and just kind of cure wounds. See.
Oh, why don't you do that
fingers.
beforehand? And then she just like holds up her like last dirty like fabric. It's all full of blood now.
It's it's against my religion. Order
Okay.
of operations. We're weird.
Is it back in her pocket?
All right, Jim. So before we move on,
Yeah.
I want to get these fighting this dude things right. So no poison, no
Yeah.
acid.
Oh yeah. He listed a whole bunch of. Kind of,
Yeah.
and
Fire
he
was
was more
fine.
like talking about like how to fight demons. He was
Yeah.
like,
I'm just making sure I've got this straight in my notebook. So
okay.
when I'm looking at spells in like a week or two, what
Mhm.
are you talking about? I'll message you afterwards, Leisure.
Okay, sure, yeah. So, yeah, he listed a whole and went
Mer
into
would
exhaustive
double-check it.
detail about all kinds of,
If this guy's like not a fighter and he's cunning, I'm pretty sure we should expect a counter ambush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we need to plan for that too. have some kind of contingency. Either get out of jail.
Rewind time.
There you go.
All right.
That'll do
That's
it.
my contingency. Is oh nope, JK.
I got a nope. As long as everyone's standing near me, like within 5 feet, we've got a nope, and we can just get out of there if needed.
I've got a planar shift as well.
You guys have several like oh shit buttons.
We do, thankfully. At this point in time.
Gates, word recall. Yeah, I mean,
We're gonna end up on like 7 different planes, though.
scattered. Arbros, he seemed, it's like, yeah, Tangrith was not just like a run-of-the-mill demon, but Arbros was like, yeah, bring me. We'll end this.
Yeah. Hey, bring me, bro. Tag me in, bro.
Yeah.
And then, so you're in what appears to be, now that you sort of like spent some time there, it seems to be like a series of what are basically like townhomes that have been preserved through some sort of like temporal stasis. And you're like, they sort of teleported you to the basement of one of these places. And it's only as you've been going through all this and summoning and talking, sort of like kind of feel for where you are. It is morning. And the day is dawning, and all of the undead that were out at night move to get out of the dry, the hot, dry heat, and down into the various cellars and passageways of the city. During the day, there's really not a lot here. There are squatters and other people that live here and sort of like on the margins. But the mummies are basically like, they listen to you talk to this devil and sort of formulate some kind of plan. And it's really only then, after all that's done, that they approach you again with to address you. And your task is great, but we will be your allies, such as we can. Tangrith has a hold over us, stronger when we are in his presence. But we will hinder him any way that we can. Do not tell us what you intend to do. Do not let us know. And unless there's any questions for them, they leave you at this point and are off to... they don't give you any means to like contact them or talk to them. They are about to mysteriously depart.
All right. I guess, Memnon, we should get some servitors in on this meet.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see by having more fodder. I mean, allies would help. Could hurt, honestly.
Yeah, we need to get reliable help.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, Memnon is more than willing to seek out the others, and so I guess I'll find them. Should rest somewhere, but I can talk to them today. At the moment, I'm kind of curious to like take a step back and just sort of like talk to you guys. Like, what are y'all like?
Did
as
they
players,
say how long it was gonna take this dude to do the soul stuff?
They told you it would be some time. You got the impression it would be a couple of days at least, as they're sort of like.
We're just gonna sleep.